Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson, and I looked in the comment section just now, and I saw somebody, it had been a so-called white person, sound like a Caucasian, wrote that damn comment in the comment section. He said, regardless, every race descend from that regardless of what every race descends from slavery. Regardless of the race, they descend from slavery. And I'm like, what a dumbass comment. People just fucking delusional. And when you look at the Bible, Moses only dealt with one race of people simply. And the Israelites were the ones that went through slavery because they were the chosen ones. So how is it that that every nation of people, the Bible didn't say that. The Bible didn't say that. People just act like they read the Bible, but they read it, but it's going like the simple things is just going over their head. Let me show you the people. I don't know why people don't do no damn. All they gotta do is pick up their Bible and read their Bible. The people don't even read. People don't even do shit. They just pick up the Bible and just say dumbass shit and just comment shit. The Bible is said He's the God of Abraham. He's the God of Israel. The God of Israel, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why He clearly said that. So how in the hell make that make sense? That every nation, regardless of race, descend from slavery. Where is that in the Bible? We need to see it in the Bible. Where is that in the Bible? Talking about every nation of people just saying dumbass shit. Dumb, ignorant shit. And don't know what the hell they talking about. Look what the Bible says here. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed, not every nation, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. He didn't say afflict regardless of the nation of people. He said them. They shall afflict them. It didn't say they shall afflict every race of people regardless of the seed, no matter what the nation is. It didn't say that. It says, and they shall afflict them 400 years. You got this motherfucker, this dumbass Caucasian person in the comment section talking about regardless of race, every nation descend from slavery. I'm gonna see if I can find that comment. And yeah, that's what he said. Just people just make dumbass statements and don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm gonna have to turn it down because I don't want to get no kind of, okay, here the video is here. I'm gonna see if I can find that comment. Yeah, here it is right here. They posted the comment 12 hours ago. It says, every person, regardless of race, are descendants of slaves. Where is that in the Bible? Because he said only one people. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them. If they shall serve them, how is it that one nation gonna serve another nation and another nation going to have to depend upon another nation? So you're gonna have one nation that's gonna be ruling a ruling class and another nation that's gonna be at the bottom. So how in the hell did every nation descend from slavery? People just say dumbass, ignorant shit. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 17. Let's read verse 1 first. And ye shall make you no idols, nor graven images, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up an image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am the Lord your God. Your God. He didn't say the God, he's the God of everybody, every race, regardless of race. Ye shall keep my Sabbath. He's talking to Israel, right? And watch this here. Only one nation is being punished. 26 and 17. It says, and I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. So if you got an enemy and you got people who gonna be servitudes to these people, we gonna be servitudes, they gonna be over us. How in the world is every nation descend from slavery? That comment ain't making no motherfucking sense. Hold on, let me see if I can. No. I would have to cover. Hold on. If y'all can see that, regardless of race, every person descends from slavery. Every person, regardless of race, are descendants of slavery. What? Every person, regardless of race, are descendants of slaves. Who in the hell wrote? That's why I don't waste my time even trying to even debate white people. Why would you spend your time debating somebody? It's a waste of time. Look what the Bible says here in Leviticus chapter 27 and 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man shall make a sin offering, a singular vow, when a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for the Lord by thy estimating, and thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary. See that? This is speaking, it said, speak unto the children of Israel. He didn't say speak to every nation. He ain't say speak to every nation. So how in the hell is this motherfucker his hand? Every person, regardless of race, descendants of a slave. Where is that in the Bible? Where is that? That's not even recorded nowhere in history. Every person, regardless of race, descendants of slaves. It ain't you ain't gonna find it nowhere in the Bible. And they trying to make something say, I don't know why they trying to make something say what it ain't saying. You got some dumb ass people on this planet. They just delusional ass people. Or just say anything. Talking about anything. Show me that in the Bible. Look like he got it blocked. But anyway. It says, let's look at Exodus chapter 3 and verse 1. The Bible said, now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he laid the flock unto the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the Lord and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And the Lord said, and the Lord saw that he turned aside to see. God called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here am I. And he said, draw not neither hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He said, I am the Lord. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, and the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He said, I am the God of Abraham, I am the God of Isaac, and I am the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt. That means slavery. Now, he didn't say, I have surely seen the affliction of all race of people. No matter what, regardless of the race. So, what the fuck is this motherfucker here talking about? You know he's a damn Caucasian. Every person, regardless of race, are descendants of slaves. You are motherfucking regardless of slavery or life. Got up. It might be some damn Uncle Tom that wrote it up there like that. Every person, regardless of race, are descendants of slaves. Well, motherfucker, why is it that the so-called white man is in power? Why is the white man in power? And you got us, our people, at the bottom. People say some dumbass shit. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrow. The taskmasters were the slave owners. Taskmasters. For I know their sorrow, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. If you come in to save somebody from another nation, how is it that you're going to save the victims and the perpetrator? That's just like them. A bank get robbed. Who they going to arrest? The people that came there to rob it? The people that's being robbed. The people that's being robbed is the victims. So they're not going to arrest the ones that's victims and being robbed. The purpose of them coming is to arrest the ones who robbed the place. How would they look coming there arresting the people who was victims and then saving the robbers too? It wouldn't make no sense. So people, when they try to put white people in there, no matter how much you try to put it in there, even a child can read between the lines and know that ain't right. No. So I don't know what he must have been, whoever this is, they must have been high putting that comment there. They had to be high. No, they were high. Something wrong with them. That's what you call a damn low IQ. Because whoever put that comment there, they showing the hell ain't wise. That's not that's dumb. That's stupid. That to my regardless of the race, every person, and you got one race of people is the only one that can bear witness to these curses. The white man can walk out there and he ain't gonna even feel threatened. He's not gonna feel terrified. He not gonna feel. She and he is not gonna feel terrified being pulled over by the so-called white man, their own people. They ain't gonna be afraid. Who controls the bank system? We don't control that. So every person, how you gonna be a slave and you a descendant? You own shit. You control everything in the world. You control the government. But you descendant of a slave. Slave people that the descendants of slaves are victims. Everybody can't be victims in this world. So that's impossible right there. It's impossible for everybody is to be a descendant of a slave. You got to have one that's controlling. You got to have one that's beneath. That would contradict the whole Bible. God prophesied it in Deuteronomy 28 and 13 that if Israel didn't keep the commandments of God, they would go into slavery. So they actually is analyzing Deuteronomy chapter 28. They analyze Deuteronomy 28 when they say that. Look what the Bible says here in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Curses shall thou be in the city, and curses shall thou be in the field. Now, if you got one people cursed in the field, in the city, like one everybody, it can't be curses shall thou be in the city, curses shall thou be shall thou be in the field. That means the workplaces. Curses shall be thy basket in thy store. We don't own no damn business. We don't have business. We don't own nothing, but we don't control nothing. Now watch this here. Deuteronomy 28 and 13. The Bible says, and the Lord shall make thee plenteous and goods in the fruit of thy body, in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, and the land which the Lord sware unto thy father to give thee. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28, I think that's 14. Hold on, let me do this right quick. People is just say dumbass shit when it comes to slavery. Why do people like they'll come and look at you when you say something negative, but when you like when they feel you saying something controversial, they'll come in and sit down. But when you actually just reading the Bible and talking about the things that is happening to your people, they ain't gonna stay in here long when you read the Bible and being positive. I mean, you know what I'm saying. As long as they feel like if you're making white people comfortable, they'll come watch it. the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. Okay. Deuteronomy is 28:13. I read that. And the Lord shall make thee, hold on, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, here it is. And the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasures, the Lord and the heavens, to give thee rain upon thy land in his season, and to bless all the works of thy hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord, shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I commanded thee this day to observe and to do them. This is talking about promises upon one condition, and that's obedience. You see what I'm saying? So when we disobey God, this is what happened. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43. The Bible says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. So right now, we are in a lower state. When you are in poverty, that's a lower state. When you are without a father, when you don't own no businesses, when you have to go and pay rent and you barely have money to pay your rent and all that, that's low. We are in a lower state. You see what I'm saying? It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. We're in a low state. That's poverty. Yeah, that's poverty. Low. When you are poor, that's low. That's in a lower state. You don't own nothing. You ain't rich. You don't hardly have money to make it. You barely making it from one income to the next income. You barely, by the time you pay your bills, your rent, and all that type of stuff, you ain't got money to even buy water and bread. That's a low state. So for that man is to make that statement and say, every nation was enslaved, regardless, descend from slavery, regardless of what the race was. That don't even make no damn sense. So there would be no such thing as a hierarchy. There wouldn't be no such thing as rulership. Who ruling the planet right now then? That comment don't even make no sense. Because when you enslaved, you don't own nothing. You don't control. You restricted from certain things. That's what slavery means. Slavery means you don't have you ain't got no other choice. You are restricted to certain benefits. That's what slavery is too. You're restricted. Anytime you is restricted from something, you don't own nothing. People say some dumb, ignorant shit sometimes, especially our people. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man, they definitely are gonna say dumb shit. What is the meaning of restriction? A limited condition. That's what I said. A limited of condition or measuring, especially a large one. Restriction. Dictionary definition. Restrictions. Count. A law or rule that limits or controls something. Building in that area came with restrictions, traveling restrictions. They imposed restrictions on smoking indoors. They will remove experts restriction. When you tell somebody they can't smoke, you're not allowed smoking there. They don't give you a choice. They say we don't allow that. That's a restriction. You're restricted from doing certain things. So that's what slavery is. What is the definition of slavery? All right. It says slavery is a system where person owns another, treating them as property. That's what that is. Chatting with no rights, with no rights, forcing them into voluntary labor or servitude. That's what it is. Denying their liberty, often through violence, concerning or doubt, encompass historical chatting. Slavery had modern forms like forcing labor and forcing marriage, and historical chatting, slavery, and modern forms like forcing labor for forcing marriage and human trafficking. It is a condition of total dominant where an enslaved person's life, body, and labor belongs to the enslaver, or as defined by international law as the condition where any of all of the powers attached to the right of ownership as exercised. Ownership, treating a person as property or commodity. Forcing labor, compelling work without consent. That's what it is. That's what slavery is. They do things. That's what they did during slavery. They do things without your consent. Often under under threat of penalty. Loss of freedom, complete control over a person's life, movement, and decisions. All of that means slavery. Okay, lack of rights, the privatization of most legal and human rights. Forms of examples: historical slavery, systematic enslavement based on race, war, or crime. Okay, common in America. Modern slavery, including human trafficking, forced labor, and factors, forms, domestic work, and forced prostitution, and forced marriage, affecting millions of globally. That's talking about the Israelites. So, by that logic, when they say every nation was enslaved, that's a damn lie. Mm-hmm. What one nation of people went into slavery? That's right. No single nation was enslaved, but the African people, primarily from West Africa, West and West Central Africa, were the primarily group forcing into chattel slavery, especially during the brutal transatlantic slave trade, 15th to the 19th centuries, where millions were forcibly transported to the Americans for labor on plantations, created a lasting legacy of African descendants. The population worldwide, while slavery existed globally, the African experiences in the American was unique, and its scale, racial base endured. It's 30 minutes or something already. Origins, captives were taken from various regions in Africa. Captives were taken from various religions in Africa, including modern day Ghana, Nigeria, Angola, the bright battlefield, often through captured in wars and raised and sold to the European traders. The trade Europeans powers, Portugal, Spain, Britain, all of these are slave masters. French, Netherlands, and orchestrated the forcing